Howdy, for this video I'm going to go over how I set up Divine Smite for the Paladin in my campaign. So I had set it up originally as an effect that you would toggle just before you would attack. You would say, I know I'm going to do Divine Smite on this attack, they would toggle the effect, then they would roll, it would add the extra damage, and it worked great. The only bad thing is if they had a situation if they attacked and they rolled like a nat 20 and they're like, hey, I want to do Divine Smite on this, if you did not toggle the effect prior to rolling, it wouldn't add the extra damage. So I came into issues with that occasionally. So what I did in the past as well is I tried setting up as a macro, and it worked sometimes, but then sometimes it would give me issues or it wouldn't roll the right amount of damage. And so then I thought about how I would set it up in the future, and what I ended up coming up with is setting it up as a spell. So what I did was I created Divine Smite for first, second, and third level. I took my player's weapon, which he uses a +1 long sword, is their primary weapon for attacking. I added the weapon to the spell, so it adds the extra damage from the weapon and their modifier. So when I created the spell, I copied and pasted the text from the feature into the spell. I set it up as a prepared spell that is always prepared. It costs 1 special action. It targets 1 creature at a range of 5 feet. It's set up as a melee weapon attack that uses the strength modifier. Because it's a +1 weapon, it gets that +1 to the attack roll. I have the 1d8 plus his attack mod from the weapon, and I have the 2d8 radiant damage from the spell itself, or the feature. And also for the situations that they roll the attack against an undead creature, they get to roll an additional 1d8. So what I did is I set that up as in the other formula to roll that additional damage. So now let's see this in action. So he's got this drow targeted, so we're going to attack with Divine Smite. And he got a 19, so he got a hit. Rolled all the damage, and it already did all that, and so that's good. So if it was a situation that it was an undead enemy, then he would roll the other formula, and then that would roll the additional damage, and then I would just minus off an additional 8 to that enemy. This also worked very well for setting up other spells, such as Green Flame Blade, that I did the exact same thing, where I added the weapon to the spell so that it would do the additional fire damage when it gets past level 5, and then you have the other formula for whenever it attacks an enemy that's within 5 feet away if you get a hit. So let's demonstrate that real quick. So I would do Green Flame Blade, target the one enemy. He missed, of course. We'll try it again. Okay, well, it looked like it was going to be a 1 for a second. So he would do the damage, so he did 13 damage, and then the enemy beside him, he would do the other formula, and he got an additional 8 damage to that guy, so he would minus off 8 to him, and that's how that would work. So this seemed to be the most practical way, and it's been the most efficient since I've changed it, and it's been working really well. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask, and I'll be able to help you as much as I can. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.